Hey there, welcome to the Brandon Cruz Daily Fantasy Podcast, where I go and look at low-end plays and strategies specifically designed for GPPs. This should show people who are already informed on daily fantasy sports how this contest operate. If you have any questions related to NASCAR that isn't a stupid question, feel free to shoot it my way at BrandonCruzDFS on Twitter. Most importantly, take everything you hear with a grain of salt and use your best judgment when making entries. Additionally, if you have a gambling addiction, that's not my problem. Check your sensitive feelings out the door. We're talking about the Xfinity Series race on Saturday, and no, I will probably not have a Truck Series podcast out for the second race. All I gotta say is Travis Pastrana is racing in it, and as I've said before in the podcast, thank God Stewart isn't racing anymore, because I'd own Stewart. I'd make lineups. I'd throw so much money away with Stewart because I played him every contest he's in. It's hard. This is a hard race for me to look at now because Pastrana is a guy that I love. Do you want to? Look, I don't freak out. Like, I'm not a fan. Like, I won't scream someone's name. I went to one day at Phoenix. This is a couple years back. We were in the pit, or I was in the garage, and Eric Jones he's walking behind the fence, and he's probably 20 yards away, and this woman just starts screaming, Eric, Eric. I mean, she's having a freaking conniption over here over this guy. So I'm not like that type of fan. I'm not going to scream at someone, but I really do like Travis Pastrana as a person, and he got a raw end of the deal in his Xfinity adventure, because one, he didn't know like the amount of time it would take that whole series, and I mean all he did was some K&N races before that. So I mean, look, people say Pastrana's a bust. I don't think so. Uh, I think he was just thrown in way too quickly. And if you look at his Truck Series races since then, I think he's done a few. I know he's done a few at Las Vegas since there. I mean, he's finished with the truck in good condition. I expect to see the same thing in the Saturday night race in the Truck Series. But anyway, so I'm not making a podcast for that one. I'm just saying I'd probably just talk about Travis Pastrana the whole time, and the same things apply in my last one. I know I talked about Timmy Hill, but we'll see. If I feel like I need to make a podcast, I will. If not, it's Truck Series. No, you should know what you're getting at this point. Anyway, looking at the Xfinity Series, this one I'm going to focus on the drivers that I just like. I'm not really going to try and look at the cash. I really haven't listened to anybody other than Pierce's podcast for the Xfinity Series. I haven't really read any articles yet. Normally, I mean, my week's all screwed up, man. I mean, I love the Cup Series being last. I slowly devour the information for the Truck Series and Xfinity Series. I'm all janked up this week. I mean, I have no organization at all. I got papers all around. I mean, here, look. I mean, I have papers just all around of just notes and stuff because nothing is in order. Prices were released at a weird time, and it's just whatever. So we're talking about the Xfinity Series guys that I like. I'm just gonna look at I'm gonna talk about the grid more than anything. I'm not interested in Nanette or Jones. I like Kaz Grala. He should do extremely well. I believe he's in the RCR car this weekend at 21. Let me look. 21, 21, 21, 21, 21. Yeah, he's in the RCR car. I love Kaz Grala. He's a very talented guy. He should be a bit more expensive. I think him starting third, he has a top 10 car. I think he's better than Alfredo. And Alfredo's been awesome in this car. It'll take a few laps for Kaz to get into the race. I assume it goes green. He's going to fall back a little bit, probably run around 12, 15, somewhere around there. And then I assume he's going to be there at the end, just like he was in previous races in the past. Let's look at last year's races. Let's check and see where he finished. And remember, he was running his own, or not his own car, but he was running with a very crappy. Quiet, you Twitch. I'm trying to go through my thing. I'm still streaming the Cup race. If you look at Kaz Grala's finishes last year in the quote-unquote bad team, he finished 18th at Texas, 14th at Richmond, 14th at Dover, and 14th at New Hampshire, and 5th at Road America. Look, I mean, he this is a top 10. Wait a minute. Was it the end of the stage? Whatever. 77 is way too cheap. He should be easily like a core piece of your lineup. I think people are going to be afraid to play him starting third. That doesn't scare me at all. I see him finishing extremely well tomorrow. He has a top 10 car. I have him projected right now for a 6th place finish. I think he can do better than that. Cindric. I'd rather play Cindric over Burton. I'd rather play. I mean, I'm going to look at Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe, and Chastain. As I'm probably going to need 2 of these guys in my lineup. I just got to decide who it is between those guys. It'll probably be Cindric and Briscoe, just because Briscoe's a bit cheaper. They've kind of swapped prices from where they were about 3 weeks ago. I don't mind that. Not interested in Riley Herbst, not interested in Daniel Hemrick, Noah Gragson, and Allgaier. I think you're going to need one of these guys. Justin Haley, his price is finally up. That's a fade for me. Not interested in Earnhardt, not interested in Little. David Starr is an interesting character. The ownership for him was outrageous. He had a race rating of 19th at Texas, finished 14th. That's what we need from David Starr. Again, I think he does have the possibility of doing this. I think he's a guy you're going to have to look at for your punt. I think it's going to be probably a 1 punt race again, which is or a 1 punt lineup again, which is what we've seen a lot in this year. Just you're going to need a guy under $5,000 in the Truck or Xfinity series. And this is one of the guys I consider. Sieg is too cheap based on his possible upside, but he had issues. He finished 30th at Texas. I did not play him at Texas. He has been nothing but, just busting people left and right. He's been a horrible play these last couple weeks. Actually, this whole year. He was starting too high up and he was too expensive, or he was just right and then he's just wrecked and screwed a lot of people. I expect his ownership to be down. I would say this is a week that I think you can consider Ryan Sieg. Not interested in Clements. Dexter Bean, not interested in at all. That was a wild play last weekend if you played him. I mean, even I'm not that crazy. Didn't work out there, not interested there. Alex LeBay, not interested. BJ McLeod is interesting here. He's $4,600, and I think iRace. I think DraftKings is just questioning us to make this play again. I didn't like him when he was starting inside the top 16th. At 20th, it gives me a little bit more leeway of where I want to go with. I think you have to look at David Starr and BJ McLeod as a possible punt here. Timmy Hill just starting too high up. I think he's starting maybe about 3 or 4 positions back from where he finishes. That's that. I'd much rather go with Brandon Brown. He's a guy that I think you need to look at. Possibly pair him with Noah Gragson, and you got yourself a really cheap core there. Brett Moffitt, too expensive there. I'd much rather go Brandon Brown. Josh Williams. This is where I'd start considering to possibly play Josh Williams. He's had a terrible season with terrible luck so far, but the ownership should be off him. He's the cheapest he's been in a while. Starting 24th should bring a top 18 car to the track. We just need stuff to go his way. I'd possibly look at him. Stefan Leach, no. Alva, no. Not going to look there. Bailey Curry, no. Tommy Joe Martins, no. Take it behind the wall, no. Ryan Vargas, interesting. Right now, he's priced at $74. I assume that's because he finished 13th at Pocono. And DraftKings assumes he's going to do that again. I don't think so. I think for whatever reason, people are going to look at Ryan Vargas and see, oh, he ran real at Pocono. He's going to do well. I want to avoid that. Chad Fitchum is probably the last guy I'd probably consider here. I have to see. Excuse me. We have 2 days to see and to learn. Oh, big crash! Matt Kenseth into Bubba Wallace out of turn 4 in the Cup Series. Oh, ripperoni artichoke. The 2 McDonald's cars taking each other out. Oh, what a shame. Anyway, I got distracted here. What was I saying? Oh, yes, Chad Fitchum. So we got about 2 days to look and see what car MBM Motorsports they're bringing back. They're using the banana boat car, not the banana boat, the banana car last weekend at Texas. I'm not sure if it was for Chad or Stefan. Oh man, 37 car just Earnhardted the 42. Oh man, that's Earnhardt's revenge on Kyle Petty for wrecking him in that All-Star race. Even though that's 37 at the 3. Uh, I'm, I'm losing my mind here. I'm going crazy. Matt Mills is too expensive. Myatt Snyder, $9,200. Let's look at his last four. Let's look at his last 3 races. 35th at Texas. Yikes. 30th at Kentucky 2. Yikes. 31st at Kentucky 2. Yikes. 15th at Kentucky 1. Yikes. Let's look at where he was in speed during these races. 34th at Texas. 20th at the second Kentucky race. 16th at the first Kentucky race. And let's even travel back to see where he finished at the Homestead, or where his race speed was at Homestead. 13th at Homestead 2. 16th at Homestead 1. Atlanta 20th. Bristol 8th. Charlotte 10th. Darlington 26th. What is this showing me? I like Myatt Snyder. Not here. Not here. He's too expensive. I think he's going to finish maybe 19th. I think he's a trap play. I think this is a trap. I don't want to go there. I don't think it's going to work. Not a fan of Myatt Snyder this weekend. Surprising for some. That's how I look at it. Take him at your own risk. I think you're going to want to try and fit in Cindric, Gregson, those guys up there. I think Myatt Snyder is just a trap play. And people are going to play him. People are going to be like, oh man, he's a place differential. You got to play him. No, you don't. You don't got to play Matt. I'm not going to play Matt. Not interested in Joe Graff Jr., Kyle Weatherman, no. Vinnie Miller, no. Colin Garrett is back, baby. Back at a track that they think they can do well at. Colin Garrett should be $9,200. If they can avoid trouble, I'm going to look at Homestead. I'm going to look at the 2 Homestead races where they are running, where they finished in those races. Average speed of, or race rating of 19th and 20th in those 2 races, finished 21st and 14th. This is a car that, same thing with Myatt Snyder, could finish top 18, but he's cheaper. This is where, if you're going to play anybody for place differential, it'd be Colin Garrett. So you want to look at Colin Garrett, probably David Starr or BJ McLeod as your 2 like bottom punts. Probably pair that up with Kaz Grala and go wherever you want from there. I assume that's what's going to happen, or at least look towards Kaz Grala and one of those punts. You don't have to fit in Colin Garrett. It just depends on how you're constructing your lineup, how aggressive you want to be. If you want to focus on Brandon Brown, I think that's how you got to look at it. But there's a lot of bad plays, man. Like I just ran in the Trek Series podcast. I mean, there's not a lot of good plays. There's chalk everywhere. You have to play some sort of chalk here and there. You got to get creative on how you're pivoting off of stuff. And most of the time right now, I mean, the pivots are just, you're praying that something happens to somebody with something happens to the chalk plays that you don't have, and it works out for you. That's really what it's working to. It's really unfortunate that that's what NASCAR DFS is just evolving to this year. So if you got any questions, shoot them my way at BrandonCruzDFS. I got a Patreon in the description if you'd like to donate. Hopefully this helped you out. If not, hey, at least I pointed you towards some names. So you have a good day. Best of luck, and let's enjoy the end of this crappy cup race. So peace out, y'all.